te tipu. O ake ana I te ata, Piti ka ua nara tama, E tama mati ka maranga, O ake ra e tama, E tu hiki tia, Rongo hapa una hina ana, Ua ho ake ra tama, E ara ake rau, Hey, would you give me more, anyway, pick you up, anyway, underneath the moonlight, ooh, I wanna give you more life, I put you up, give me more, anyway, pick you up, anyway, underneath the moonlight, ooh, I wanna give you more life, oh, 네가 지는 라투기야, 자기 밑에 맡기 쇼야, yeah, give me love, I can love you. I need your love, baby, let me show you what I got. 고추괴 고로모괴 춤마이라고 해. 고추괴 고로모괴 파가로 뭐라고 해. 고추괴 고로모괴 춤마이라고 해. 고추괴 고로모괴 파가로 뭐라고 해. 이때요 해겨버릴까 해. 이때 뭐 레가 나의 weekend. Now there's nobody watching us. Now's your chance. 고추괴 고로모괴 파가로 뭐라고 해. Put you up, give me more, anyway, pick you up, anyway, underneath the moonlight, ooh, I wanna give you more life, I put you up, give me more, anyway, pick you up, anyway, underneath the moonlight, ooh, I wanna give you more life, 네가 지는 라투기야, 자기 밑에 맡기 쇼야, yeah, give me love, I can love you. I need your love, baby, let me show you what I got. 고추괴 고로모괴 춤내가지라고 해. 고추괴 고로모괴 자기 밑에 맡기 쇼야. 고추괴 고로모괴 춤내가지라고 해. 고추괴 고로모괴 파가로 뭐라고 해. Komana toku maunga ko aroha te moana ko whānau tōku waka ko au e tū atu nei. Mana is my mountain and Aroha is my sea. Whānau is my waka and all of that is me. Aha kua pāmama kei konei koe. Though you are far away, I'll hold you near. I'll keep the home fires burning so you can see clear. Kia mau mahara mai rā, no konei koe. Ko mana tōku maunga ko aroha te moana papa kia mohi o no koe kua onge onge Mama ue te whia Albi June me tō umu kia rongo anō koe I te aroha Mama ue e hine ma te aroha tēnei au te angitu e tō mama te aroha tēnā chaki nā te hapu Aotearoa e te tau mama te aroha kei te rongo I a koe e ka rangahana Takahara, kurunga tēnā karawhiua e makiau Ina te mihi I tō mori mori no oku I tō koku Takahara, kurunga tēnā karawhiua e makiau Ina te mihi I tō mori mori no oku I tō koku Waia J Piri piri mai ana he tamari ki rawa e hine kia koitsu e koku whenua te arero tūpuna muana I te hunga e hine kia koitsu koia ko te tika Ina e haere, haere, haere atu ana
hiwara he manawa Kutsi ana e te rā E iana ia wiki He nama tamariki hia kai
Nā te hau o tāwhiri mā te tērā. Nāna e pupuhi hei, nā te hau o te oronga kairungi a tātou i tēnei wā. Nā reira Tūwharetoa nui tonu nau mai hara mai. Tēnei au, he tangata kauwai kōrero, he tangata kauwai wera nā karakia mo tātou i tēnei rā. Nā reira, ka tuku e nei nā kauwai ki te atua o ngā atua te kaiho mai o ngā mea katoa mai te rangi ki te whenua ki te rangi. Ka tika te ai o nuku, te ai o rangi, te ai o nau i o matua e. Ta maua ki runga, ta maua ki raro, ta maua ki roto, ta maua ki waho. Ta maua te take nei o e nei nā kauwai. Ka tika, ki te tai ao, ki te manawa o tika māui tiki a taranga, e kia nei, mā tātou a Tūwharetoa e hui mai nei, i raro i ngā manaakitanga atua. Nā reira ka tika tāne nui ārangi tāne te waiora e kimihia. Kimihia te mauri ka tau nei, te mauri oronga kia tau nei kei rungi a tātou katoa. Ki rungi a tātou katoa e hui ai tahi tātou ki te whakakōrero, kia whāriki hia e nei nā kupu kōrero hai ārahi a tātou i tēnei rā, mō ngā tau kei mui a tātou. Nā reira piki eke e nei nā kauwai, kia rongo. Kia rongo manawa pau roto, kia rongo manawa pau waho. Kia rongo he wai au hau ana a tāwhiri mātea. Te hau oranga o te tinana, te hiningaro me te wairua e kimihia. Nā reira piki tū hāhā e nei nā kauwai a kia koe e rongo. Nā te rongo mau, te rongo pai, kai runga i te hunga e māwiwi ana e tai mahana. Rātau kai o rātau nei kāinga maha, tēnei kakaranga. Kia whakapiki nei nā, te tumanako, te whakapuno, me te oronga o te tinana, te hiningaro me te wairua, kairunga ki tēnā, ki tēnā o tātou. Nā reira tēnei, te aroha ki tō tātou nei ariki, ahako kei tāmaki makaurau ki te taha o tō tātou kiingi, a tēnei te mihi tonu ki aia, mā te atua hei whāreki te koro wai kairungi i aia, kairungi a tātou i tēnei rā. Hoki ki o tātou marae maha mai nā tōpito o tō tātou rohe, mai ngā tōpito whanaunga iwi o te motu. Mai te rāwhiti, kātika, ki te hiko, ki te upoko, ki te rāpaki rau, ki te uru. Mana ki tia tātou nā, te iwi Māori, e whai ake nei wera nā tapu wai o tātou tupuna mātua. Nā reira ka hoki ati a hau ki tēnei, a tau pō nui ātia, ngunguru te pō, ngunguru te ao. Tātou Tūwharetoa, maranga. Maranga kei runga, ma tātou e toi atu nei te tatau o te pō, ma tātou e whai atu ki te whai ao, ki te ao maranga. Anei tātou, hei wawata, hei moi ā, mai era nā kōrero te pai maumahara ka hoki atu. Ki te mau, ki enei nā kōrero, ki enei nā kauwai tū hikitia tū hapainga, tū turu ofiti, whakamaua kia tīna, haumie, huie, kāmura.
Ainga mananga tēnā koutou katoa, ko mihi te kaihanga, kua tangi he ngāmate, me ki ake ko ai. Nō reira tēnā tātou. Thank you all for coming here today. I know you can do a number of other things on a Saturday, but you chose to do this, so we do appreciate that. Note a lot of our whānau from Hawke's Bay. See some folk who have come from Auckland, Rotorua, all of those who have made the effort. We certainly do appreciate that. But it's good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody. Actually, you see a lot more non-locals than locals, so I don't know what that says. But we do have a couple of difficulties outside, which Judy will talk about with regard to travel and etc. So a lot of things happening in Taupo today, so please, it's not our fault, but please bear with us. But we have our poari here, and I'd like them to introduce themselves, starting with you, Sean, and going down to Greg.
Tēnā tātou e te whānau. He uri tēnei no ngā hapu o te mātāpuna, e mihi ana ki a koutou. Ko Sean te Tūwharetoa ingoa, ko ahau te kaiwhakahaere o te Tūwharetoa Settlement Trust. Tēnā tātou.
E kai te mohi o koutou, ko wai ki tēnei tangata e tūkai muhi a koutou. Nē?
Ai.
Koutou e kore e mohi o ki tēnei. Kia ora tata. Tēnā tini whananga, tēnā tata.
Morena koutou katoa, ko Judy Harris tōku ingoa. Kia ora. Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Georgina te heo ahau, he uri mō ngā marae o te hukuwai mi te mātāpuna. Nō reira tēnā koutou. Thank you very much for coming. The AGM is really your meeting, and we think we've done a good job, but you can judge, and either way, we love that you're here. Nō reira tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Tēnā tātou katoa, ko Tautuhui e tatu ingoa. Morena.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Greg Stebbing tōku ingoa, and I'm not a trustee, but I'm the commercial advisor for the trust. Kia ora.
Kia ora tātou, and I'm Lake Taiaro, I'm the chairperson. And just a note too, Auntie Georgina's always humble, but she's Dame Georgina te heo, so we've got to keep that going, Aunt. So, all right, what we'll do now is a bit of housekeeping, and Judy will come up next to kōrero. Kia ora.
Kia ora mahana koutou katoa. Housekeeping. Apologies. Apologies have been received prior to the meeting via email, phone, and also the registration desk. Voting. All whānau are welcome to attend this AGM. Only members who have registered are permitted to move motions and participate in voting. Motions cannot be introduced from the floor during this meeting. Live stream. A mihi out to our whānau that are on live stream. The AGM is being broadcast live for whānau joining at home by our friends at AVP. Unfortunately, it is not possible to move motions or vote via live stream. Pātai. There will be an opportunity to ask pātai at the end of today's presentations. Please, could you save our pātai until this time? Look for our kaimahi. There will be roving microphones. Speak clearly your name for the records. There's also water stations out in the foyer. The wharepaku are in the foyer on my right there, and we've got another set down the left corner. And the fire alarm will ring in an event of a fire. Make your way to the nearest exits. Our kaimahi will assist you. The assembly point is in the main car park. In event of an earthquake, drop, cover and hold. Take cover under the table Cover your head and neck and hold on to the table. There could be some distractions through the day as the Taupo Christmas Parade will be commencing about 10:30. So that's it, okay? Kia ora. The agenda. Apologies. Oh, sorry. Minutes of previous AGM. Chairman's report. Operations report. Financial report. Appointment of auditors. General business. Apologies. Thank you to all those who have submitted apologies via email, phone, prior to the AGM and via the registration desk today. Resolution apologies, that the apologies for today's AGM be received. Can I have a mover? Oh, Janice Wolf, thank you. And a seconder. Oh, and, oh yes, Carol Mitchell. Kia ora. All those in favour? Aye, carried. Thank you.
Kei a koe, Joe.
Kia ora whānau, can everybody hear? Ka pai? Oh. So, minutes of the previous AGM. We look to those who attended the Kanohi Ki Kanohi AGM last year to approve the minutes. A copy of the minutes can be found on pages 73 to 83 of the annual report. Ka pai? You can take a little bit of time to review the minutes and identify any corrections. All right, resolution to the minutes that the minutes of the 2022 AGM held 3rd of December 2022 be approved. Can I have a mover, please? You had to have been here last year as well for the AGM. Yep. Ka pai, can you just... Oh, kia ora, Bernice. Bernice Te Ahuru, and can I have a seconder, please? Phyllis Blake, ka pai. Thank you.
Kia ora no hoki. Just got some data in with regard to the live stream. So we've got about 50 coming in from Australia, a few out of Perth, one out of Switzerland. Yeah. Australia, plenty, a few in America, and 5 out of the UK. Yeah, so we welcome you all around the globe. Hopefully my daughter's on there and got up after a big night, but you never know, really. So just start off with the chairman's report. It's been a good year in our view, but with regard to, we've done housing stuff, we've done a lot of, we think, appreciative stuff, but it's probably not worth me going on. We've got a video to show, but afterwards I'll just explain a couple more other things. So let's go to the video,
Mai te awa te atua ki Tūwhara, ko te tirohanga tērā ki te whenua taupō nui a tia te kōpua ka napa o te iwi. Kei ko rā kaingaroa, Hawaii mihia, a puri ora a marotiri. Kei ko atu rā ngā pai maunga. Tūtonu a pīhanga rātou ko tongariro, ko ngauru hoe, ko ruapehu. Kei rere anō a waituhi me taurewa. Nei rā te korowai o te tarahiti whakatau kreme o Tūwharetoa, ti hei mauri ora. Established in 2009, the Tūwharetoa Settlement Trust manages the resources returned to us in the CNI Iwi Collective Settlement. In 2019, the Settlement Trust began the groundwork of what would become He Iwi Kāinga, our Tūwharetoa housing kaupapa. To provide housing that meets our people's needs, the Settlement Trust gathered data from our people about their living situation. The information we gathered showed that there was an urgent need for affordable rentals. The Settlement Trust then began the task of building papakainga for our whānau. As of December 2023, we have 14 homes in Te Mātāpuna, with plans in the works to build more housing in Te Hikuwai.
When they built them, they obviously thought a lot and hard about what the whānau's need throughout winter. And saying that you've got double glazing windows, meka airs, heat pump, keeps everything warm, easy to heat up and easy to keep warm. The backyard is absolutely, it's perfect for the kids. I mean, with our whare, we've got our babies and we've got a little park in the background. Have all the neighbours' kids come over and they'll come and play and they're all cousins and we'll have a lot of fun together. You know, having set dreams, we did once dreamt of owning our own home. Coming into the whare on Te Iwi, it's making it a reality. Definitely putting us in the right financial position to be able to do so. The courses and stuff that we go through with the ladies and all of that, every little thing helps. We get inside information that you wouldn't just get from anybody. These homes have had a lot of boost on a lot of people's confidence at the moment because we've all come into a brand new home. Like, you know, that's an opportunity that some will never ever get. You know, for you and your babies to sort of grow up and set your life up, really. That's how that's helped us coming in here.
But building houses is only one part of the solution. We know that our whānau need help to stay in their current rentals, our homeowners need a hand with maintaining their whare, and our landowners need assistance to unlock the potential of their lands. We achieve this through Te Noho Hu Roku, our sustaining tenancies kaupapa, Whare Ora, our maintenance advisory, and our papakainga service. We continue to work with Tūwharetoa Māori Trust Board and Ngāti Tūwharetoa Fisheries Charitable Trust to provide education grants and scholarships for our people. Tomorrow's employment opportunities lie in the fields of science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Every year we continue to award 3 $10,000 STEM scholarships to our best and brightest. Each scholar hopes to bring their learnings back to Tūwharetoa to assist their own whānau and hapu.
Ko te paingo tēnei karahipi māku, kua tō mai te karahipi I au nei ki tōku whenua I konei Tūwharetoa, kia whakahono I au ki tōku whenua anō I Nukuhau, I Waipāhihi, I a Waitahanui, me Waihaha anō hoki. No reira tuatui te pūtea, he tō mai he whakawhanaunga ki ngā whenua, ki ngā hapu, ki ngā iwi, ki ngā whānau o tēnei takiwā.
We know within Te Ao Māori, we have our own resources, we have our own mātauranga, and it's about drawing on that and incorporating the two together rather than seeing them as two distinct aspects. And so part of the new generation coming through is about being able to see the strengths of Te Ao Māori and Te Ao Pākehā and being able to bring those forward to our people. We have spent many years away from Arohi, learning and absorbing that knowledge, but the kaupapa of this scholarship is about coming home and giving back and sharing that knowledge with our people, and so that's what sets this scholarship apart.
We've got this endemic mushroom, native mushroom, only found in Aotearoa, and we're looking at this, looking at its effects on cognition. The effects of this cognitive stuff aren't just on improving things, but I mean there's been good evidence that this is, has potential as a treatment for Alzheimer's. This is a very powerful skill set, so let's use it to, you know, actually make some tangible changes in the world. One thing that I think that the Tūwharetoa Settlement Trust STEM Scholarship has done differently than some of the other ones that I've received is that you guys are really big on not just the financial support, but also the good communication between the trust and the recipient.
Our marae are the tūranga waiwai of our hapu, and the Settlement Trust considers them to be of great importance to our whānau. This year, the Settlement Trust worked with the Tūwharetoa Māori Trust Board to fund capital projects for Pākira, Maruanui Ātia, Maniaiti, Te Tikanga and Hirangi Marae. Each Tūwharetoa pā also receives $15,000 a year to assist with operational costs. Every year we work with the Tūwharetoa Māori Trust Board and Ngāti Tūwharetoa Fisheries to treat our pakeke to a night out on us. Seniors are chosen by their marae to come out to the Great Lakes Centre in Taupō. This year we changed it up, making it a daytime affair. Future events will follow this format. Te Wharehono o Tūwharetoa is a new commercial building being built in Taupō by 6 Tūwharetoa entities. When completed, it will be occupied by the Settlement Trust, the Trust Board, Tūwharetoa Fisheries and the Taupō District Council. It's an investment property which will yield long-term benefits back to our whānau and hapu. Nei rā e te hi o ngā mahi rangatira I oti a mātou mō te iwi. Tēnei te anga whakamua o te tarahiti, hei hāpai I ngā whānau me ngā hapu. Tēnā koutou, huri noa te whare.
So as you saw from the movie, a big concentration has been our iwi heke housing project, and that's the first of our projects going on to, we've got 2 further projects to go forward. Thanks, Sean. With regard to Te Wharehono or Tūwharetoa, you can see the other building to the left of, that's the one we normally reside in. That's with the Trust Board, that's with Fisheries. We all reside in that building on the left-hand side, so we now, I think we presented to you last year, we own that now, TST, and we gain the rentals from that, which allows us, obviously, profits to make further grants to ourselves, to yourselves, sorry, ourselves, ourselves, yeah. In the complete Tūwharetoa picture, yeah. So yeah, and the next building, go back. The next building, you can see it being built at the moment. Now that one is a project primarily, certainly we're not doing it for fun, it's there to make money. It's going to be, you can see it already, it's going to be quite a, how can I say, iconic building of Taupō. It's going to be owned by yourselves, ourselves. And but yeah, this is the first time in probably in New Zealand's history you've got cohabitation of council and ourselves, and the Maoris own the land and the building. So they'll be paying the rent. They wanted a certain type of building, which costs a whole lot more money to build. It's R4 or something. It's an earthquake ready thing that councils have to have. So we did that, and so they're happy. At the end of the day, they're going to be paying the bill, and so too with the Trust Board, TST, and the Fisheries. We'll also be paying our own bill to the body corporate, which is the six investors, which is Paiwa Mehia, basically Taupō Forest Trust, the Lake Trust, Little Lake Rotoaira, Trust Board, and also Fisheries. So, yeah, it's a good project. It's a blue chip project because when you have the council as your tenant for 25 years, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, and certainly the decor will be a little bit more different for ourselves. And yeah, I just hope when it happens, everyone comes to the opening because there's some wonderful surprises. Ngāhere and our Hikuai families have certainly designed a wonderful motif wall. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderful day, I think, but certainly a wonderful day in the pocket too for us. All right. The other things too, you'd see a lot of our marae, and unfortunately this year, you fellas all have heard about that. Here's a assessor from council, and he signed off all these buildings, and it was kore, he wasn't supposed to do it. So unfortunately, some of our projects, like Māroa and such, had to be paused because of the rawake of this fella. And so that's caused a little bit of angst in terms of our progress to assist our marais. But some of the marais that have been successful is Pukawa, our wharakai, our kitchen. That's been done, Sean. Hikairo. And just a note for today, this is live. We're going to increase the 15,000 to each marae. So you have the capital works that we join up with the Trust Board and TST, Trust Board and Fisheries, and just TST, we do the direct marae grants. That'll be raised by 25% to 20 grand for each one of our marae. Kaumātua luncheon. It's called a luncheon for a reason. When we used to have it at night time, and it always used to be my family used to play up. I'll tell you a story. My uncle, some of you may have been here one year, and then we had the ambulance turned up, and there's this fella comatose in the middle, and I'm going pushing everyone around. What's going on? Who's going on? Who's this? There's my uncle. And then they had to take him up to the hospital. Oh boy, had to find a place for Auntie to stay. And I went up and I rang him up. Uncle, you okay? How you feeling? Boy, what a wonderful night. So we thought we'll change it to a lunch. And you're putting your hand full of aunties when you're putting them back on the bus. Oh, not again, eh? A nephew should not be doing that to your auntie. But no, that's why it's a lunch, and we've got it in February coming up. So obviously, what happens, and sort of need to explain all the time. What happens is the tickets go to your marae, and then your marae choose, not us. Your marae choose who goes, and there's 10 seats per marae. So that's what I'm allowed to say. So talk to your marae secretary and your treasurer or your chairperson, and they'll have the tickets sent to them. But yeah, I just want to celebrate also our staff. We're all in one building, and so a lot of those are your nieces, your nephews, and in some cases cousins. So just want to celebrate them, and just if you see any of them with their mare on, and you need some assistance today, just call upon them. Sean? So other areas that we've done in terms of TST is some of our branding to our whānau, and especially, so we've got the jackets where I see a lot of you wearing, then we've got the t-shirts, and then the hats. We need the hat for the summer, and then the little bags. Now the bags are for your tamariki. I see a few adults around town. It's supposed to be for your 5-year-olds when they go to school. Not anything else. But anyway, hey, those are some of the things that we've done in terms of our direct to our especially our mokopuna. They'll feel quite proud when they got their little Tūwharetoa bag, and don't worry, when we first put them out, oh my God, and fair enough, all the mothers turned up to the office going, oh. But it was beautiful, and so we'll carry that on. We'll certainly carry that on. Mahitahi, primarily the Tūwharetoa Settlement Trust Board and Fisheries work very well together, not only in terms of our databases, being able to do that, grants, and a lot of you are beneficiaries of some of the grants. A lot of our mokopuna especially, you saw the 3 recipients there of the scholarships. Marae Capital Works, that's a big one. And it always needs to happen. You think sometimes, and most of you are pa people, you think sometimes we're doing some work at Pukawa, and you know, redoing I think we were redoing the wharapuni. And then you go downtown, oh, cuz, tell me when the working bees are on. No. Oh, what? They're every Saturday, cuz, until 2:06, and I was talking to them in 2:03. Oh, goodness. Did they turn up? Nah. You know, it's always, and you fellas know, it's always down to the last 10 or so, eh? You know, who look after the past. So those last 10, I'd like to mihi to. All those ones that are there all the time, and you're not appreciated enough. You never will be. So God bless you. But yeah, so we share our staff. We share our staff in the building up there. So rather than having 3 staff channels, we only use one, which is the trust board, and then we utilise that trunk of admin rather than getting 3. So there's some good economies of scale and good efficiencies there. Not only that, we also do joint investments together, which allows us, I suppose, more of a opportunity or more space to make investments. And similarly, that's what's happened with the building. Okay, but obviously you can see the hole in the middle. There's another place for any of our other entities who wish to partake in that triangle. It might be a square soon, you never know. All right. What do we do here? So in terms of our trustees, and Ngā Toru's not here, unfortunately she's had medical issues. And so she sends her mihi to you, and obviously Napa's had a kōrero about Uncle Timu and where he is today. But yeah, in terms of my, I suppose, mihi to the trustees, it's been a good year in our view, and our hope is to carry on with further good years that we can report to you in a good way. Our financial side's very strong. I'm the person they call who's anal about money, and I am. There's got to be growth, and there's got to be growth because you're growing. You know, compared to say a year ago, everyone's got new muckles, and so to maintain that growth, we need maintain that opportunity to be a benefit to yourselves. We've got to grow as well financially. So that'll be presented furthermore by Greg, but to the trustees and to our advisors, I say thank you very much. Greg, we're lucky to have Greg. He's a highfalutin sort of businessman fella. Used to work for some very, very rich people, and we're so grateful to have Greg with us. And most of you in Taupo know Greg. What he says is true, pono, and so we're lucky to have that. Also, can you stand up, mate? So from BFA, these are our accountants. That's Jeremy. So thank you for coming, Jeremy. And he assists with our financial area. To our staff, we see them there in the photo, very dynamic staff, and most of your nieces or nephews, except for Jeremy. But yeah, the small team, but again, you can have a small team if you've got the trunk of admin, which is the Tūwharetoa Trust Board. So thank you to you, Sean, for the work this year. And what I'd like to just ask someone to move and second my report. Kia ora. Can I have a seconder, please? Rongo. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And we go on to the next item. Kia ora.
Kia ora no e te whānau. I'm just going to add to Rake's kōrero there and fill in some of the gaps around some of the details around some of the mahi that we've been doing. So this is the operations report. Some of our big mahi this year has been our housing kaupapa. I said this last year, I'll say it again. So this kaupapa started in 2020 when we developed our Tūwharetoa kāinga strategy. Now this was designed to support the needs of our iwi around housing, and the environment that we live in, because we live in quite a unique environment here. We began implementing our programs in 2021. One of our big achievements this year, which Raka has touched on, are our 14 homes. So we built those in 12 months at Tūwharetoa Place. So once we got the project moving, the building part was actually probably the easy part. Getting everything sorted prior to the building took a long time, but we got there in the end, and we're really proud of the outcome. So these homes were built as a tool to help whānau achieve their housing aspirations. The idea around these homes was they were to provide whānau with affordable rental accommodation in Tūrangi, because we know it's challenging if you go on Trade Me and look for rental properties in Tūrangi or Taupō. Quite often there's none on Trade Me or none on the sites for rent. So we put 14 homes down there in Tūwharetoa Place, and this provides our whānau time to save, to learn, and to prepare for the next steps in their housing journey. The whānau chosen are in a privileged position, yes, but they also have a responsibility to learn and move forward, which will provide space for others to follow in their footsteps. So they're really setting the pace for the rest of our whānau, and they're moving really well at the moment. So our aim for these homes are to provide a leg up for as many of our whānau as possible. We know that there's only 14 homes at the moment in Tūrangi, but we want to do more of these so that we can provide more opportunities for our whānau. I've got a few photos here that just shows you some of the progress. So this is the blank site before we started doing the work. The homes were built off-site. They were actually built in Meadow Street here in Taupō by a firm called Penny Homes. We were helped by Egmont Dixon, who helped project manage us there. You can see they were built in close proximity, which meant that we were able to be efficient in the use of our staff, and the use of Penny Homes staff while they were building. They were built out of steel, so this was a new procedure for the company, for Penny Homes, but we're really happy with the outcome. And the steel was a cost saver for us and a time saver. So they were able to put these homes up, and they were very accurate in their tolerance, which is different to when you're building with wood. They went up quite fast on the site. You can see we built 7 houses at a time on that site. And then from there, we picked them up, put them on a truck, and carted them down to Tūrangi. This is going around Te Pōporo. You can see it's quite a close fit there. So all our moving was also done early in the morning just to minimise the effect on State Highway 1 traffic. This is the site being loaded at Tūwharetoa Place. So you can see the truck. They're amazing, those trucks. They can move in all directions. So they were able to get them exactly where we needed them. And then they put them onto the piles after that. So the process, once the house is built, is quite fast. And this is the final result. So we've got 14 homes now that are occupied by our whānau. They're affordable rentals, so that we offer a discounted 20% affordable rental there. And we also re-inject some money back into their KiwiSaver to help them prepare for their next steps in their housing journey. Kia ora. Another one of our kaupapa, which has provided a lot of fruit, is the whare ora assessments. So these were carried out by Aaron Te Huia, and this was about assessing the condition of our whānau homes, identifying the areas in the homes which needed attention, and helping the whānau to understand what they can do to make those areas better. We're now working on a program to carry out some repairs on some of the homes, some of the critical homes that we've assessed there. So this is some good mahi that we've only just started, and we're hoping again we'll have some good stories to tell you in the next year. Sorted Kainga Ora, this is an 8-week course, 2 classes per week. We've had over 30 whānau complete this course, and this course is based around providing financial education, information around savings, around debt, around budgeting and planning for the unexpected. These are all things that we find that it's challenging to find information on, and we probably leave school not knowing these things. Sorted Kainga Ora is around providing tools to help whānau achieve their housing aspirations again. It's not for us to tell everybody what their housing aspiration is. We really, in these courses, try and flesh out what the whānau want to achieve. So a crucial tool here is to help, this is one of our crucial tools to help provide our whānau with capacity, build the capacity of our overall Tūwharetoa whānau so that we can move forward in the housing space. And this is a cool photo I thought of our first team who graduated through the Sorted Kāinga Order course. These are also some of our tenants from our first homes down in Te Iwiheke Place. Sustaining tenancies, this is a cool kaupapa that Stacey's driving in our team. It's a program focused on aiding those at risk of tenancy loss due to financial or health issues. So this is a Ministry of Housing funded kaupapa, which is around providing support to whānau who are in need. At the moment it's targeting Taupo and Tūrangi only, that's where the project's based, but hopefully we can provide support further abroad. We're lucky in that we've got MHUD funding for this until 2025. And this is a cool photo of Stacey in action. This is one of the ready-to-rent workshops that she ran recently, which helps prepare whānau to rent a home. Our papakainga work, we have Kelly Hema who's doing this work for us. This is around building our collective capacities around papakainga development. We know we have land in Ngāti Tūwharetoa, and this is around activating our land. We think if we can activate the land, then we'll have some good wins in terms of housing. So far, we've been running papakainga development seminars. We've had trustee governance courses because we realise that you need good governance on our trust to enable our papakainga development. This is also around developing tools and resources to support our papakainga aspirations. At the moment, we're working on building a pipeline of papakainga developments that are ready to go with the ambition that we can source some support outside of our iwi to help us build some of those developments. So fingers crossed we get that across the line soon as well. Rentals and tenancies, so this links back to our Te Iwiheke Place homes. This is the support around our tenants. So we're not just putting them into the homes and saying, there you go, there's a house, make sure you pay the rent. We're about providing support to our whānau. It's a program developed to help whānau identify their housing aspirations, make a plan towards achieving their aspirations, and then we're about providing the necessary skills so that they can achieve those things. And this is sort of our point of difference from what I've seen around the motu, is that we got this wraparound support, which is really cool for our tenants in our homes. Our success in this kaupapa is going to be measured at the end of the tenancy of our tenants down in Te Iwiheke Place and the like. And if they're prepared then to move into their next step, which could be home ownership, it could be a shared equity setup, then we've achieved our goals. So we've got a long way to go there, but we're working well towards that goal. These are some of our friends that have helped us carry out these kaupapa. So we've got the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. They have provided a massive amount of funding towards our housing kaupapa. Ka Uru Ora, they were instrumental in the setup of our first builds. Te Puni Kōkiri, they came and helped with Sorted Kāinga Order. They're also going to help us with the repairs on some of the homes. Bay Trust has been a friend from the beginning. They've helped support all of our kaupapa and made it a lot easier for us to proceed. And then we've got our development partners down there at the bottom, Penny Homes and Egmont Dixon, who have done a great job. Just touching also on what Rake said, the Marae Capital Works. So this is another area that we focused on, providing support to our marae and the works that they need carried out. This is in collaboration with the Tūwharetoa Māori Trust Board, supporting marae developments and maintenance at our marae. Projects funded this year were Hirangi Marae with their wharekai redesign, Maniaiti Marae with their whare paipai and manuhiri shelter, Marua Nui Marae with their wharekai refurbishment, Te Tikanga Marae with their feasibility study for wharekai restoration, Waitaha Nui Marae with their wharekai repairs, and we had a total investment there of $338,000. And here's a couple of extra photos to add to Rake's ones on Pukawa, their kitchen upgrade, and also Ngāti Kairo and their waharoa, their new waharoa. Marae Operational Support Grant. This is a contribution towards our day-to-day upkeep of our marae and operational costs. $15,000 has been the amount paid to our marae up until now. We've had 29 marae recipients, and these are all the marae that are listed in our trust deed. Our total marae operational support grant investment this year was $435,000, but that's going to increase from now on out as we've increased the amount to $20,000. Education grants, in collaboration with the Tūwharetoa Māori Trust Board and the Fisheries, we've given out 1,898 grants. And now these are made up of early childhood grants, secondary schools, tertiary grants, special needs and trade training. Our total combined education grant investment was close to $800,000, $758,000. Our STEM scholarships, again, just touching on that, so science, technology, engineering and mathematics. This is an area that we've chosen for a number of years now to focus on, as we see that this is going to help not just Ngāti Tūwharetoa, but the whole of Aotearoa to move forward if we can build our knowledge in the technology space. And I see Te Haukapua Nui sitting out there as well, so ngā mihi kia koe Te Haukapua Nui. It's the good mahi from people like that that's really propping up the sector. And we're proud to support these future leaders. We've got a bit of a section here on mana whenua, and I'm just going to pass the rākau over to Uncle Napa, who's going to talk to this, and then I'll come back. Kia ora, Uncle Napa.
I'm not technology savvy, so I still write my notes by hand. Relating to the CNI mana whenua, where we are collectively, along with the 8 other iwi of the Kaingaroa CNI settlement. Today, we are still in court proceedings. I'm just going to track back a little bit. In 2008, we settled the Kaingaroa settlement. But since 2008, we've been, all of us, the 80, we have been in and out of court. So that's 15 years. Last year, at the beginning of this year, we find ourselves back in court. And just as lately as this Thursday, we received an outcome from the High Court, which is favourable to Ngāti Tūwharetoa and some of the other iwi of the Kaingaroa Forest. We've yet to have discussions internally amongst ourselves as your trust, as well as to meet with some of the other CNI iwi now that the outcome has been made by the High Court. In saying that, the outcome of the High Court is subject to appeal. So we're looking at reviewing that as quickly as possible over this last month of the year, and to see what happens. So it's work in progress for us. We haven't been waiting for the decision. So for Tūwharetoa, our trust hopes to begin before Christmas discussions on this legal outcome. This will basically mean preparing our internal options and working collectively with those other iwi. And basically, it's all about mana whenua allocation, and it's all about basically being able to work collectively for the land title holding past 2044. 2044 was a date that was negotiated for both the financial returns, the rentals that we get every year, or the iwi. But in 2044 it changes based on the tribe's mana whenua of those forest blocks. Right from day one, I suppose the majority of CNI iwi have been able to work together. We find ourselves in court with Ngāti Manawa. So those of us with Ngāti Manawa whakapapa talk to ourselves to sort it out. And Ngāti Whakaue. So tātou Ngāti Whakaue, again, talk to ourselves about sorting that out. But 6 of the iwi are in favour of some of the things that have been recommended to the High Court. The High Court has found in our favour thus far, but it's open to an appeal. I leave it at that. And I just say that Ngāti Manawa continues to play by their own rules. E kia nei tāku nei kōrero. Mana whakapiki, mana whakaheke. I'll leave it at that. So conversations, as I said, we haven't just been twiddling our fingers over this High Court proceeding stuff over the year, and we've started dialogue with Ngāti Tahu. And again, that's us talking to us in North. Those of us who have Ngāti Tahu whakapapa, put up your hand. Kātika. We've started those conversations, and we want to work collectively, particularly with our tauhara hapu, to come to some resolutions about mana whenua on 3 of the blocks. The Waimihia, north and south, Pukuriri, Wairapukau. These 3 blocks we were able to negotiate out back in 2008 for us, Ngāti Tūwharetoa, Ngāti Tahu Whao, and Tūhoi. So we wish to begin the kōrero about the mana whenua on those blocks, and we want to do it face to face. We do not want to end up in court. E kia nei te whakapapa mo tātou, te kaupapa e whakahaere tātou kai roto ki e nei nā kōrero. It's our whakapapa that will get through these things. It's our tikanga and our histories of our tupuna on the land that will get us through. It will not be High Court. So tēnā te kōrero kia hau. We believe in working collectively. E pāna ki o tātou tini whanaunga whakapapa o te kaingoro. So koina, any questions? As simple and as basic as this report is. I leave it to the floor if you have any questions on me. If I was to go into detail, we could be here all day. But that's where we're at. Simply maintain the kōrero, maintain our relationships by whakapapa, maintain our stories that we have on the kaingaroa, the Waimihia forests, the Pukuriri land interests, and particularly maintain our whakapapa interests to those other iwi. Otherwise, we will not survive. Nā reira, tēnā te kōrero, e pāna ki a tātou. Pātai. Clear? Is that clear for us? If it's not, so it's work in progress, eh? Nā reira, and we will be calling on our hapu over the next 12 months in respect of not just this, but securing a position for us into the future over the next 12 months. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, Gordon. I've got one more slide here, and this is just about thanking everybody that's been involved with our mahi, particularly our trustees for their support over the year and their guidance. We wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for them. Also to our kaimahi of the Hiwi Kāinga team and our office, and our other supporters in terms of BFA. Could you all just stand up over there, please, just so that we get a chance to acknowledge everybody. Yeah, everybody can give us a round of applause, please. Our team turns up day in, day out, and they work really hard for this kaupapa, so we're really lucky to have them involved in this mahi, and hopefully we can keep growing more people just like them, because I know there's plenty out there. Nō reira, that's the end of my presentation. So the resolution that I'd like to put up is that the operations report be received. Is there a mover? Auntie Aroha, Kapai, and Janice seconder. Kapai, all those in favour say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. Kia ora. I'd just like to invite Greg now to come up and present our financial section of the presentation.
Yeah, Greg.
Kia ora anō. I think this is my 10th year doing the financial report, and it's getting a bit easier, but I must admit our chair this morning was on fire, and I hope he hasn't burned himself out for this afternoon. Anyway, thank you for the kind comments, Chair. So the financial report. So this is basically all covered in the hard covered pack, pages 41 to 72. And you know, we're obliged to put the full accounts in there. They're getting more and more complex every year, really, and so apologise. It's quite hard to get your head around everything, just the way we have to report. So hence we try and simplify things, I guess, a bit, just to the key things. And I guess my overall, certainly as you can see on the right-hand column there, the bottom line, 4.3, that's a good result. And it's really driven by I'll talk about it a bit more, the financial or the managed funds, but really, look, you can almost see the 4 years there, we're sort of averaging out about 4 million a year, pretty steady, which I think is good, given that all the turmoil that the world has seen and markets crashing and whatever. And when I think about it, one of the reasons we keep that steady profit is really we're lucky that most of our income comes from our C&I rentals, where we get basically 20% of all the rentals on Kaingaroa, and they aren't affected by those sort of events immediately anyway. They might over time, like if log markets crash, we'll see a slight decline in the rentals because the value of forestry land will go down. So our income, it's basically the rentals on the land that we have a share of the mana whenua claim in there. So we've got that, and also we've got investments, I guess, in some property, the schools and whatever, which have got government tenants, and they don't change either. So and they can never go down. So we're lucky a high portion of our income is pretty much fixed. So really, just for the summary for the year, our comprehensive income or profit was up 39% on last year at 4.3 million. And the big change was the managed funds. So this is what the money we have invested in share markets and what have you. So we've made a move a few years ago away from term deposits to more what is termed managed funds. And I think we've got a slide at the back which shows what sort of the mix of investments. So that last year was a bad year. where it crashed, and you'll see a graph shortly which shows how volatile it can be. But this year it recovered. We're going through a bit of a crash, or not a crash, but a bit of a slump at the moment. So they go up and down, but over time, generally, the performance is good. C&I income was up 0.3 million. So those rentals, they go up by Consumer Price Index every year. And our Kākano investment dropped by 0.2 million. Kākano is a company that was set up with 6 iwi, with 6 C&I iwi, to buy a 2.5% share in Timberlands, which is the company that own the trees on Kaingaroa. It's proven to be a really good investment. We probably should have gone higher if we'd had the funds at the time, but it's a good investment. Now that one does get impacted sometimes by log prices, but not hugely. And our operating expenditure for the year was up by 0.4 million, mainly due to the cost of the he iwi kāinga, the management of that. A lot of that was offset under the income by grants, as Sean alluded to, with particularly Bay Trust. We need to thank them. They've been very, very supportive, and we have one of our trustees is a trustee on the Bay Trust, Judy, so she's obviously given us a good plug there. So yeah, income pretty steady, which is good. So the balance sheet at the high level, you can see that the key line is the bottom line, and you can see it's been slowly increasing. So at the end of June 23, the net TST equity is $69.4 million. Our chair has set a goal for us, albeit unofficial, of I think 150 million by 2043. And the significance of that date is really our income will drop through C&I when it reverts to a mana whenua allocation as opposed to a proportionate one. So the assets 89.6 million, liabilities 20.2. Most of those liabilities there, I think about 16 million of it, is money held on behalf of the forest hapu clusters, in particular Te Paia Waimihia. And this is waiting for the outcome, or for the finalisation, I guess, of the mana whenua corridor. So because there's still a risk around whether Tūwharetoa would get 100% of those satellite forests, and say Waimihia being the big one, you can't predict what the mana whenua outcome will be. There's been 20% of the income held back for that day, and if it is 100% Tūwharetoa, that money will be passed to the hapu to the trust. We don't have any debt. There's no debt in that 20.2 million, and haven't had any debt for the last 10 years. So basically our investments have been coming out of our cash or our managed funds. It's not to say that mightn't change in the future. If right now we wouldn't bother, with the interest rates are pretty high. So we're protected there, I guess, because we don't have any debt. So our assets, or that $69.4 million, this is just to show you how it's, where is it, or what is it? And we've sort of summarised it into these sort of three classifications here: forestry, property, and cash and managed funds. And you can see the forestry investment dropped, the proportion of our total dropped a bit. That's mainly to Kākano, dropped in value a bit. Property has been sort of slowly increasing. Most of our activity in the last few years has been in property. You saw it with Te Wharehono, and we've bought some, I guess, the iwi kāinga investments. And our managed funds, 43%. We have a sort of I guess, investment policy goal there that shouldn't be, that can't go below 30%. So, if we're taking money out of there to invest in property, that we need to keep an eye on that proportion there. So we've got a bit of headway there at the moment, because that's our liquidity really. That's what we can use to invest in. So there's been a slight change there with an increase in property and drop in forestry. And this next slide is showing the performance of the managed funds. And so the bottom line, which is sort of the measure, is what would the returns have been over time. What's that, going back to 2017? I think that's when we first got into this. So So that's the 90-day bank rate, which is probably, well, it's definitely lower than term deposit rates, but that's sort of the measure about how well are we doing. If we dip below that line, we start having to question whether we're in the right game. But you can see just the ups and downs that it can be quite volatile. But over time, the advisors are that we should achieve at least a 7% return, if not higher. Right now, this is up to June. I think the last 3 months it's flattened out a bit. So we don't make these decisions. We engage professional advisors, and so these managed funds, we have a company called My Fiduciary who give us advice, and there's been another company called Iwi Investor, which was owned by the Forest Trust, who actually placed the money on the advice of the advisors. These guys are pretty sharp. 2 or 3 of them came from the super fund. We've been happy with their performance. When they report to us, they measure how well we're going against other funds, so you can see how well your advisor's going. I think if we didn't have them, whenever there's a crash, the reaction here would be, just for people like ourselves, would be, shit, we've got to get out of this. Well, actually, they will say, no, you've got to hold the line, because if you get out of it, basically, you're bringing that loss to a fruition. So it's quite hard. You sort of think, geez, are we on the right track? But you've got to trust these guys and the advice you get. In fact, you've got to have really good reasons for not following the advice as trustees. Managed funds, I think I just probably talked about this here. A game of two halves. It declined at the start of the year, but strong bounce back after Christmas. The decline was driven by inflation, increase in interest rates, and the war in Ukraine. Some of the investments are in listed infrastructure, so a bit like our property ones, and gold, which mitigated or helped reduce those losses. Looking forward, interest rates stabilised, so we should expect higher income. So income is when we get actually dividends. Socially responsible investments, or what they call SRI, they track that, and they're saying that the carbon emissions are less than 50% of the market levels. So we're doing better than what the market is doing. And since 2017, we've achieved a gain of 27%, or 16% of the 90-day bank rates. And the last slide is really just showing the investment partnerships that we are in, and I'll touch on them. So Tūwharetoa, this is a limited partnership with 25 other iwi we pooled money of 115 million between all of us, and the idea is you can make some direct investments which you don't normally do on your own because you're too small. To be honest, it hasn't been performing that well. We're looking forward to some better days with it, and some of the money hasn't been spent yet, so we're looking forward to the next investments. The gondola LP, a hot topic in the press these days with RAL. So we invested $1 million in there. Even though it's still not resolved, I guess what's going to happen on the Maunga, or particularly with the ski operations, well, I'm personally not overly concerned, because I think even if there's no ski business on Whakapapa, and that'll come one day, I think, because of the climate change, there's still a tourist business up there, and which you see all around the world, people going up to have a kai and just look at the views and whatever. So I'm pretty confident that even if the ski business is shaky, that there's still a sightseeing tourist business. Hautu Rangipo, this is when the corrections property down in Tūrangi area was purchased. So we're a shareholder, we've got 20% of that LP. Te Kākono, that's the Timberlands, I mentioned that. Tūwharetoa Properties, in there with Waimahia is the big shareholder in there. So this is the properties, the schools and the courthouse, and the probation office in Taupo. Tauwhara ki te Hikawai, we went in 50% with Waimahia to buy property down in Tūwharetoa Street, which we're still working on plans for that. We've got some quite positive ones. Really been a toss-up between hotels or just hospitality sector. We've got one last look at a hotel option, but I suspect it'll go down the hospitality sector. At the moment, we're allowing council to use it as car parking because we took some of their car park for the district council build here. Te Wharehono, that's the council office, and here iwi kāinga, which is only TST. So a lot going on, and all those things don't help make the accounts a lot clearer for you. But these partnerships are the way we go. Where basically you can pool your money and not take the big risks yourselves. Ka pai? Shall I ask questions now? Or? So the property, Raka just asked me the properties around the place. So we have a share in Tūwharetoa Properties Limited Partnership, which is that's the one that owns the schools and whatever. We have a share, I guess, in where the district council office is going. 6 houses out at Wairake. We bought the Blue Light complex out there. I think it used to probably be the single men's camp back in the Minister of Works days. At the moment, Blue Light, which is a charity run by the police really, for youth courses and whatever. We bought it off them, but they're leasing it for 3 years, probably 2 years to go. So in the meantime, our iwi kāinga team are working on what are we going to do at the end of it. So it's got accommodation for there's about 30 bedrooms, I think, a good sort of a conference room. So we don't really know exactly what we're going to do yet, but it's quite good that we've got them leasing it for another couple of years. There's the property down in Tūwharetoa Street. That was the old DSIR. Well, then more recently it was a nightclub. So that's probably made for hospitality. There is some land on the way out at Whariwaka. If you turn off into Whariwaka Drive, there's some clear areas either side. They were owned by the Crown, and we've bought those off, and they will probably either form part of the housing strategy, or it's probably pretty valuable land, so we'll just see what we're going to do with that. We might be better putting the money into somewhere else. What else is it? That's it, eh? Okay. Leave questions to the end? Or?
Yeah, we'll go to general business.
So I'll just get this resolved.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions we're going to have at the end, right at the end. So I just want to put a resolution that the financial report be received. So I'm looking for a mover.
It's so exciting, isn't it?
Was she moving it?
Yes.
Did we get the name? Maria Wall. Second to Danny Lachlan.
And Dave Portaga.
And Dave Portaga. That's the second that stopped. Okay. All those in favour? Aye. Anybody against? The second one, just so on pages 68 and 70 of the booklet, you'll see the auditor's report. And I guess the good news is it's a clean report. There's no qualifications. So that's what you look for. Qualifications are normally a bit, you've got to explain them and whatever. And we're happy with the auditors staying on. We will review that every so many years, more to check and make sure we're getting the right price. So the resolution is that Crowe Haworth be reappointed as auditors. I'll move that, seconded by Danny Lachlan. All those in favour? Aye. Aye. Anybody against? Ka pai. Thank you.
It's always so exciting when Greg gets up. As you can see, we sort of work like a family around here, so we give each other jibes. Anyway, we're sort of coming down to the crux of things now. You've got the document in front of you. We'd always love to get it out earlier to you, but it's very hard with auditors. The auditor, and those of you who are in organisations that need audit accounts, it's very hard to get them early enough to get the primary documents out. And I think you're going to get this all from now on through unless the audit system changes. But what we'd certainly like to promote is what is in the book for you fellas to read. There's some good data in there in terms of where our people are. Just basic data that around the history of TST. Nuppers certainly gave us a good synopsis, but also around our iwi as well. And I suppose I'm promoting, have a good read of this. when you fellas get some time, but my apologies for that we can't get it out earlier. So we're up to coming down the last stretch. Now we've got a bit of time before lunch, so I'm happy to open up for any partai. Any partai, and Dave Hotaka. So we've got the mic lady coming in.
Kia ora koutou, ko Dave Hotaka toku ingoa. I have the privilege of looking after Pukawa Marae with a number of others. And I'd just like to thank the Trust and the trustees for the pūtea we receive yearly. As you can see in the booklet, there's a couple of photos of our newly upgraded kitchen. That kitchen was a bit of a danger actually before we did the upgrade, and now we've got a very healthy, sustainable kitchen that's going to serve us for the next 20 or so years, hopefully. So thank you very much, and hopefully keep that money rolling in. Cheers. Kia ora.
Thank you, Dave. Any other partai? Gaz?
Since you started on that journey with the CNI, I've had 3 walk-up winners.
Only 3?
Only 3. 3 I'm talking about from Ngāti Manawa. I'll have to talk to my son to get over there and talk to those people. And as far as Ngāti Whakawe go, well, that's another day.
Thank you. Auntie Timu?
Oh.
Waiho.
Because I want to know if we can go back to some of that tikanga to resolve our differences. Because from day one, some of our pakeke agreed that we should talk about taumo. For those of you who don't know what taumo is, it's an arranged marriage. I'm serious. That's how we settled our disputes in the past. That's how our tupuna did it. And we have taonga even. And I mentioned Uncle Tiger's tokotoko because of our relationship back generations to one of our tupuna kuia of Tūwharetoa. So today we look at it in respect of having a kawenata, but obviously these things haven't been working. So koina tāku nei kōrero, because it's something that all of the iwi talked about as we were going through the process. Me whakamana te toto, mai I a tātou ki e rā o tātou. When we settled with Tūhoi as part of our whanaungatanga, ka tuku taonga tātou he mere paunamu e kia nei ki a Tūhoi. Kia mautonu tā rātou tērā taonga, mō te aha, mō te kotahitanga kei wainganui a tātou a Tūhoi me Tūwharetoa, hei tohu mō ngā iwi katoa o te kaingaro. So kei ta hoha tēnei e tuake e te tuakana. Engari e toru I o mokopuna I tēnei wā. I tried to give one of my daughters. But they said that one of my daughters was too fiery. But tēnei te kōrero, kautika, me pēhea tātou, kia whakahoki atu tātou ki te hononga o te toto. Hei hāpai nā te mana o tātou ki tēnā iwi, ki tēnā iwi, ki tēnā iwi. Kia ora tātou, he pātai, he whakautu kōrero mō tātou. Hei, whiriwhiringa kōrero, whakaaro kei wainganui a tātou. Nā reira te napu.
Kia ora napa. Thank you. Auntie Timu.
Tūwharetoa, tēnā koutou. Te poari mahi, te tēpu, tēnā koutou hoki. Ko tōku ingoa, ko timu te tai hoariri whairata. No Ngāti te kohera, no mōkai. I'll have to go very, very slowly here because I've only just read this book and I've just picked out pieces in the book.
Oh, no. All right, Auntie.
That's before I get to the real crunch of my kōrero.
Aye.
First of all, I want to thank the Trust Board, TST, and all those that are involved with all the mahi that you've been doing. It's just absolutely wonderful reading through this book in this short time that I've had. I also want to thank he kāinga mo te iwi. They came to my home, even though they didn't supply me with what I really wanted. Anyway, they came and they looked through my home and they saw the need that I really did need for my home. The painting, the rotted walls, and some of my surrounds around the window, but unfortunately they couldn't help me. So hopefully they'll have some money set aside for things like that, for those of us who are living in their own homes and need help with keeping our homes warm and safe so that we'll last a little bit longer in our age. Anyway, thank you.
With respect, Auntie, do we have a question?
Now, the crunch of my kōrero is about, you've got everything else here for, where have I got it? Oh, I can't find the page. So I'll get to the crunch of my kōrero.
Shall we ever talk after, Auntie?
No. No. I want to talk about kaumātua, kuia and karaua.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking around the room and there's some of us who are aging, like myself, in the 80 plus. We've got here 60 plus in this book. But let me tell you, I'm sure there are a lot of 80 plus age people here. And I'm asking for help. I need help.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there for the likes of me and probably others. We've got everything here for our young people. We've got kāinga for people, but what about the elderly?
Mm.
And so I've spoken with the kotahitanga o Tūwharetoa. I had a kōrero with them. I've spoken with the Raukawa Trust Board, and what I was hoping that we could set up a marae base kaumātua hauora, you know, where if we had a bus, I could drive you. Even though I'm in my late 80s, I can still drive. And I could drive, you know, our people around from marae to marae so that our whakawhanaungatanga. And all I'm asking is that if Tūwharetoa, if the Trust Board, TST, could help support my take, because what I want to do is to set up a base at Mōkai for kaumātua, kuia and karaua. I'll get all those cousins of mine who are all registered nurses but are now retired like myself. We could possibly help in that space. And I'm sure there are a lot of you here that are ex-nurses And so I'm pleading for help. My brother, who is 79, I'm much older than he is, and I'm his caregiver. And I need help, and I'm sure there are others like me who need help to look after and keep them at home and not put them in an aged care facility. I know that we do have one here, Monte Vista, but look, I don't want to end up there. You know, I'm still quite fit. I can still drive, and I'm very busy for my hapu. You know, I'm still sitting around the table with Raukawa, Tūwharetoa, you know, Ngāti Maniapoto. They still need us because, you know, kaumātua are the ones that have the knowledge. We know the whakapapa. We know the history. They need us. So they need to help us. Thank you.
Kia ora.
Kia ora koutou.
Well, thank you, Auntie. Yeah, you're incredible. You're 80 and you do what you do. And we all know how energetic Auntie is. But that kōrero is one that comes true. As you know, we do our kaumātua grants and such through Trust Board and Fisheries. But obviously, there's probably a need. I've just nodded to Sean. There's probably a need for further strategy around this one. And I think we might be able to report on that next year, Aunt. But yeah, it hasn't been taken loosely. So, especially for someone like yourself to put it forward to us, and I know it would have been difficult for you to do so. So, ngā mihi, Aunt. All right, Sean. So to others, we have our kaumātua grants for your teeth and for your ears and such. But I will certainly, see a few nodding from our trustees, that certainly will do something with this, Aunt. Well, you come into the office the other day. We'll send you the forms, eh? We'll send you the forms. But also, as Sean talked about with the housing side of things, in terms of if your homes are in disrepair, ring Sean, all that type of stuff, all right? All right, we've got a few fingers over there. Can we go to, where's the mic?
Over here.
Okay, Janice doesn't need a mic. We'll go with Janice. Yeah.
So that excites me. I just want to thank the Settlement Trust for the Kickstarter packs, and from Snowy Rose Rake Wall, thank you for her Kohanga Reo grant that she got this year. What I do want to talk about is Tūwharetoa, Rangatahi Leadership Program. Oh, here's the mic.
We don't need it.
I don't need it, but I might want to be Beyonce.
Take the point.
And Trust for supporting our ngā rangatahi iwi who were able to go to Canada. Judy Harris was a huge support for us. So I just want to thank you for those backpacks, even though they were a little small. They went all over the place, Sean. And I want to acknowledge Sean in his CEO role, what he's been doing, operations for the Settlement Trusters. Bang on, my cousin. So,
Thank you, Janice. Yeah, I suppose there's a bit of a whirlwind of stuff there, Marcus. But thank you. I think there's a lot of thank yous, and we appreciate that. In terms of Tūwharetoa, it was very successful. It was very successful when it came, and you also reminded us last year, and what you're doing with the programs we have to support. So we'll be looking at that in the coming year. Well, not coming year. We'll try and get to you before the end of Christmas, because it is a place, and we do have now resources and opportunity to do that. All right? All right, guys. Oh. Danny, we'll go to you, and then can we go to you, Auntie, after Danny, and then we'll get a mic to you.
Kia ora. Yeah, I'm Danny Paranihi from down Tokarangi. I just want to thank you guys for your pūtea that you've given us. And as you know, I wanted to up that ante some years ago. You've finally done it, so thanks for that. Listening to us, because the maraes need a lot of money. And I see in your book it's for a feasibility study for our wharekai. Well, that's already done. It's already built and done, but we're going to the whare, which is the big one.
Yep.
So I'm going to tap you on your wallet very shortly, because those Pākehā said it was going to cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd like to thank you. But Napa, you know, it was a long time ago you tried to drown me in front of Uncle Hepi. And that was the start of the TST. And we had some issues back then about mana whenua. But I'm glad to see that you're still arguing that fight, mate. And it is a tough one. You know, I was there when you were arguing about mana whenua and all these fellas. You know Ngāti Wawa claimed whakapapa, not mana whenua. And Uncle Jim Biddle, he says, boy, where you get that from? That's what it's all about, is whakapapa. Everybody trying to get mana whenua so they can have bloody control. Forget about it. Claim your whakapapa. I claim my whakapapa to all of you. You can't get rid of me. You know? And Napa, all these years later, you still haven't drowned me, mate. I'm back again. But love you for carrying on the fight. That mana whenua fight is a tough one. But like this cousin over here, I've had 26 mokos since then. Those paranihis know how to breed. But I need to send some over there to Manu Paul. I'm going to start marrying his mokopunas. So, you know, keep it up, Napa. I admire you. So, kapai. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, certainly for the marae, you know, it has significance, like all of our marae do. But in terms of the wharepuni, I think certainly that's a job we'd like to get on top of, eh? Kia ora, Auntie, sorry.
Tēnā koutou te tēpū, ngā mihi nui, ka whakarongoa hau, ka titiroa hau, ki ngā kupu, ki ngā kōrero, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko hoki kau kātaraina Chase Purcell hau, just call me Hoki. It's really interesting, I drove up, hey, my pito is Tūwharetoa, Tūturu. Engari kei toi Waikato tainui tōku kāinga I Nainei. I drove up this morning because I wanted to be present in the meeting. I haven't been here for a long time. But I couldn't even get into your main street. I'm nearly 88. I drove by myself. like the kuia here, tēnā koe e te kui. And I parked up by the Taupo Dental, it used to be the dental clinic when I was going to school here, and walked. And that's what I want to talk about. I've got three questions and I'd like 3 yeses. My first question is, and you may have had this question before, so please excuse me. If it's been done and dusted before, just say, move it along, okay? Then I won't waste your time. My first question is, I'm hearing, does Tūwharetoa have a partnership with a hearing company? You know, I live in Tainui, and all my kuia friends, they've got a partnership. Tainui has a partnership with Triton. Now, I want to talk about that. I went to get a hearing aid from Triton. I came to Tūwharetoa to get a grant. I got a couple, but I had to have my hearing aid urgently. And so I paid for it. What was interesting about that, and I want to share it with us, is that when I went to pay for my hearing aid, the young Asian girl said to me, "Oh, Mrs. Purcell, in about 18 months, you may need to update your hearing aids." So my hearing aids were the cheapest, $7,000, the cheapest in Triton. And no, there was one there was $5,000. It didn't suit my hearing. So I beg your pardon. And so I went for the $7,000. She said to me, "Mrs. Purcell, in about 12 to 18 months, you may need to update your hearing aid." I said, "And what would that price be?" She went to the other price, which was $9,000. I said, "So if I got $9,000 hearing aid today, I won't have to replace it in 18 months' time." I just found that really dishonest. Really, really did. And then I told them so. But my kōrero to us is, whānau, those of you who are looking after us, look after us well. So we're not going to, as kuia kraua, you know, we just about lost our marbles. But we're doing very well with what we've got left. But please help us on our journey. When I look at the pūtea that's in there for just this, goodness knows how much we're worth. Surely we're worth being looked after for our hearing, our partnership with Specsavers. Got to have the older you get, the more you need. Who's going to look after us? You. You. We've appointed you to look after us. There's a lot of input going on everybody else, but there's not very much going on us. Another thing, I went to get a toko. At the op shop, there are none. In the $2 shop or $2.35, they have toko, but they haven't got the safety foot on them. So I bought this one yesterday from the Chemist Warehouse. Cost me $29, but it's a very safe one, it's a very solid one, and it has a rubber foot. Now, as I said, my kuia kraua, my friends are mostly kuia kraua. We all have walking sticks. So when you're selling T-shirts, hats and whatever, why don't you sell us a blimmin' walking stick, man? I would like to be on your committee to look after the old people. I want to sit by Georgina. I really believe, whānau, you need to take much better care of the old people. When you're thinking, I agree with everything that's going on. I agree with everything. But I don't believe that kuia kraua are being valued for what we are valued for.
Chair.
My last
can I talk about on that one, Nan? As you know, we've got our kaumātua grants that we hold for the three entities. We'll certainly take that on board, what you're talking about. $9,000, $5,000, that's just not fair.
Yeah.
But we can certainly try and assist further in that area. But as you know, our age limit is to where it starts relatively, well, it depends how old you are, but it starts relatively early, and then yourselves coming through. So we have a wider, in terms of the population, and I know you don't want to hear this, but in terms of the population model right at the moment, there's a lot of in terms of our population, they call it demographics. A lot of our folk are old right now, and then a lot of our folk are young. There's not many pakeke, there's young and old, and so it's definitely, you're right, we have concentrated on our younger mokopuna on things. Time for us to have another look. So we'll do that for you, eh?
Thank you.
So that's a yes for that one.
Yeah. My last one is, I was looking at the pictures of the kaumātua dinner. I said to my sister, who's in Nukuhau, of course, I said to my sister, oh, I'm coming home to that. She goes, no, you can't, Hoki. I go, why not? She goes, because you're not on the list. And I said, put me on the list, Ngāhuia. She said, you can't, Hoki, it's already filled up. She said, Hoki, we only have a certain number of tickets per marae. Okay, hey, I like a yes. My pito is here. I might live in Tainui,
yeah,
but every time I stand up and give my pepeha, I'm Tūwharetoa.
Yeah.
I don't have to live here
Yeah.
to get a ticket.
Yeah.
I don't have to live here to get a ticket.
Again, I talked about it earlier. We leave it up to our marae to choose the 10 kaumātua they wish, and I can only encourage you to knock on the door of the marae committee and say, hey, might be our turn, might be my turn. So that's all we can. That's all we can advise. We leave it up, like with the fishing licences. We leave it up to yous. We leave it up to the marae to choose.
I want to say something about that.
I beg your
I
pardon.
want to say something about that. Do you have any special guests that are here that come from out of town or anywhere?
No, it's
just
all
two- it's
the,
just
it's
two
all the
to the two.
marae. It's all the marae's choice. Now we do get the ones, of course, that'll show up, haven't had a connection to their marae and try to bowl on through too, and we get those ones come through every year, and so we put them in a holding pattern, and then over there, because all of our marae, all of our marae might have 8, or some of our marae might have 7, and so then that allows us for numbers, because we also, in terms of, because we do it in this room most of the time, and so we're only we're only able to have a limit of folk, and that's the old Komart luncheon or do is one that is really quite
Well, you know, all I can
auspicious
do.
for our marae to look after.
All I can do is put my take on the table.
Aye.
I'm not going to insist to my sister. I'm not going to insist to Jan. I want a ticket. I'm not going to insist to Georgina. Georgina, you better get me a ticket, girl. No, I'm not going to do that. But if I can't stand and put my take on the floor, then it's not worth me coming. Tēnā tātou katoa.
Oh well, and I hope you're happy for me to say this. Dame Georgina Te Hauhau has said you are going to be her partner at the next one. So, you know, thank you again. But again, we do appreciate our pa people. That's what it's for. What it's for is for our pa people, and those are on the paipai all year in winter time here, etc. And that's where the takia is based. And we leave it up to our pas, same with the fishing licences. All right? Kia ora. Or your mic. The mic. And just while I'm here, I'd just like to thank the rest of the kahunungu crowd that have just turned up. So, he mihi kaina. And you fellas were here before, sorry. Yes. Hey, you.
Charmaine Penny.
Hey, Charmaine.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, okay?
Yeah, no.
When's the opening of that building?
It'll be
with the-
next year. It'll be around this time next year, or perhaps early 2025. But
Okay.
everyone you'll all find out because it'll be around AGM time anyway. So
And I tautoko Auntie Hookie
yes,
on those tickets.
Yeah.
I see that on my Facebook page and think, oh, we got some kaumatua who whakapapa here. And they come to the hui
yeah,
all the time.
yes,
Yeah. So maybe reconsider and review how those tickets are distributed so the kaumata who do come every year can select themselves, or, you know, they might have 5 that might want to
Yeah.
come, and it'd be great for them. I might be one of them.
Well, thank
Who
you.
knows?
Thank you. Bit of a tapu one, that one, eh?
Yeah.
Ready for the Pars. Ready for the Pars again. Never know, Napa might have you as his partner there. But, but jokes aside,
No, he might run away from me.
it's our opportunity to give to our marae and for those who they wish to appreciate our kaumatuas.
So, Papakainga development seminars, where and when?
So in terms of Papakainga development, so we not only build houses and provide subsidised rental houses, but there's all the information that we have with regard to setting up the Papakaingas. Now that's more to advise yourselves, those of you around the Pars and those who have small pieces of land you want to set up a Papakainga, that's the thing, come and see our staff and they'll be able to help you. But the main issue that we still don't know what this government's going to do.
Yeah.
The last government in this area were quite good. You know, we're not too sure what's going to happen going forward. So we have to just sort of, even though they say they'll still do it, we never know. But we're looking at it vigilantly as a lot of our social plans are around the Crown, partly Crown investment as well. So.
Oh, kia ora. I'm going to give the mic to my cousin here.
Yes.
He's got something very important.
Yes.
Tēnā tātou te whare, e mi atu nei ki a koutou, e koro mai, e kui mai, e tau mai nei. Nā whanaunga, nā hapu katoa kua tau mai nei. Anei mātou o Tūwharetoa ki Heretaunga, e tau mai nei kei waini a koutou. He mi atu nei ki a koutou, katoa kua i te wā i pāmai a te wainui ki rungi a mātou i o māhau, a kua tuku a mai koutou he pūtia mā mātou. Nō reira, koe nei mātou o Tūwharetoa ki Heretaunga, he mihi atu nei ki o koutou i riro mai tērā huatanga. Nō reira, kei te mihi atu. Mai i tērā wā tainua ki tēnei wā, kua mutu pai ngā mahi i tō mātou marae, a ka haere pai ngā āhuatanga katoa. Te tini te mano o ngā tangata katoa, i tau mai nei ki rungi a mātou, hei āwhina, hei tautoko mai, nā puari katoa, nā Pākehā mai, Māori mai, hana, nā iwa katoa, kua tau mai ki rungi kei waini a mātou, hei hāpai a mātou i tō mātou taumahatanga i pāmai ki a mātou. Nā te mea ka tuake nei ki te mihatuni a koutou, koutou i āwhina mai i te pūtia. Nō reira, tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora, e te whāna. We didn't talk about it in the financials, but a few of us organised the Trust Board, TST and Fisheries, as well as some of our trusts and corporations to, as soon as the cyclone hit over there, we got in touch with our families and we were able to, and also the different Ngāti Parau, Tūranga Nui a Kiwa and our Kaunungu families, and organised some money, some things, transport. You might remember they talked about the Starlink things being brought into Rorotoria. So Tumu's son Gerard, he flew those in. So it was it was a quick operation that we need to just to try enough. And thank you very much for that kōrero. I know it's never enough. But thank you for coming and acknowledging that. And to all those other trusts, to the Forest Trust, Fisheries, we were able to get together pretty quickly and do a koha. All right, thank you. Got a hand up over there.
I'll do him first and then I'll be back.
Rako, well done you guys, everybody at the table. My name's Tom Walters. Just a couple of questions, and particularly relevant to more recently when we get around the country and see what other iwi are doing, and a lot of the investments done by other iwi are, to me, quite questionable. And I'm wondering about Tūwharetoa Hodo and what the rationale is behind that. Because, you know, what's probably more relevant is what Cousin Hookie just brought up about the cost of hearing aids, da-di-da. But isn't that perhaps an area where Tūwharetoa could set the trend and invest in these type companies? Or not even invest in them, create them. Create a company that has hearing aids to take care of our people and everything else we need to be doing, particularly in the health sector. So, Rako, my only question is, what is the rationale behind Tūwharetoa Hodo?
Kia ora.
And for the rest of the tepu, thank you, well done, and congratulations.
Thank you, Tom. In terms of Hodo, now Hodo was it's actually started, our Ngāti Awa families had the idea. Our own Debbie Birch, that's one of our whanaunga, she's currently on Tūwharetoa, she's one of our Downs family, had created an idea, certainly with the super fund. With the super fund, the idea was all the iwi who have capital funds to bring it all together. So you have one, say like for us, Tūwharetoa, our entree into that was worth around 20 mil. Now that's with about nine other Tūwharetoa entities. So we made one collective group, which basically holds around 16% of the whole Hodo. Other iwi have put in money to this one place, and the fund's now about 115 mil. So that's the numbers side of thing and the directorship side of things. So us having 20% or 16% allows us to have a director on the company. That company then hires in a investment committee of high noting investors, also with the super fund. Now the reason why we did this is because say if you wanted to do a 1 cent deal, you're not going to have too many 1 cent deals around. But if there's you come up with another 5 people to make it 60 cents, now your opportunity to get a deal is a lot more attractive and more possible. So in terms of this case, 115 mil has been invested, but has been identified to invest. But what's happened is not all of the 115 mil has been spent, so we still have them here in our coffers, our Tūwharetoa coffers, until a deal has come up. Now the deal that can only come up in front of us is above 10%. Nothing, they won't look at anything under 10%, and with that threshold of 10%, to reach that you need good partners. So our partners also within that group are the pension fund. They're the ones who do all the superannuation stuff for the Crown. Now they haven't, and when you go and look at a company to buy or something to buy, you have to do a lot of due diligence. Now a lot of our whānau, a lot of our tribal entities don't have that due diligence capability, and so that's why Greg talked about it before. Just for TST, we have to have advice from My Fiduciary, a company called My Fiduciary, and that allows us the data to make decisions within our what they call SIPO, or within our, it's more around our whakaaro. Are we risk people? No, we're not. Are we, basically looking to carry on growth, but with less risk? So that's why we went to this area to give us more of a higher echelon of advice from the super fund, and then also what they call the IC, the Investment Committee for the Hodo. Now, there's been a number of investments. I think we've got around about 30% left to spend on that. Now, it's interesting you talk about the health sector. The health sector has been the highest attractive place to place some money at the moment. So I don't know whether most of you know when you go to get your blood tests, and then they take it off, the lady puts it in a tube, and then you don't know what happens after that. Well, what happens after that is it goes to the path lab, the proper path lab, and it's actually, I didn't realise myself, it's actually owned by a private entity. And so you might have Waikato Path, and then you might have Taranaki Path. Those are owned by one company, and they're the ones who have all the machines to do things, to do the study. So I didn't realise that myself. So what happened is Hodo, which is the parent company, had a talk with them, and we now have ownership in that, the pathology. But you actually leave it up to people who know the investment game. We know how to invest, but not to that echelon, because especially when we're dealing with your money, we don't want it to, go kaka. So the most important thing is getting good advice. The other reason why we went with Hodo is that it is a Māori initiative with professional paradigms. The people that are involved are the money people that you know throughout this country. And you're also having the kehas who have also good advice as part of the advising process. And what they come up with, because it's not say, oh no, we'll go and buy this. It's more of a, we'll go and buy this. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Someone will say no, then it stops. So it has to go through a few filters before it comes to our iwi table. And so that's the reason why we've got into it, because of the rigours. We know it, before it comes to us for decision making, it's gone through about 3 filters of experts. So sorry that was long-winded, but it needed to be able to answer the question. All right, Tom? Beauty, thumbs up. Okay, we're sort of heading towards lunch. It's about 5 minutes away, and can we take 2 more questions?
Tēnā no tātou katoa, kare kauna aku pātai, hoi anō tēnei katuake ki te mihi ki ngā upoko o Tūwharetoa Settlements Trust, o ti rā ki o mātou, o tātou nei kaumātua, me ngā tai tamariki e ngōki haere ana. My name's Haukapuanu Verko, and I was one of the recipients of the STEM scholarship. I just wanted to come here and whakakanohi and just thank you all for your tautoko. I'm a PhD student in civil engineering at the University of Auckland. Went to Kura Kaupapa in Kohanga and Rotorua, but currently in Auckland at the moment. But just big mihi to you all. It means a lot to me and my whānau, obviously with the cost of living in Auckland and just everything else that's going on at the moment. So I just wanted to come here and thank all of you for the tautoko. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Kia ora, boy. Thank you so much for coming physically. And that's a big thing for us. We give out a whole lot of grants, thousands, and thank you for coming. And this is our last question.
Kia ora rā Keith.
Kia ora.
On behalf, my name's Manino Clark. On behalf of Nukuhau Marae, would like to thank you for the funding that you've given to our marae. Also, just to deal with the kaumātua and queer when they have their dinners or lunch. Is there any chance, because you know how you talked about the 10 kaumātua and queer, especially when we've got 20 or 30 sitting at our marae. So, you know, I see a lot of times when it comes to the dinners and the lunch that there's a lot of seats that are empty. So is there any chance that you can contact our marae to actually, so we can fill those chairs? Because I tell you, here in Taupo, between the 5 marae, I'm sure we can fill them. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Again, a tapu place, a real tapu place, that I too aren't going to step over that threshold. Again, but all of our marae get, this is the process, all our marae get the notification, etc. And then this year we're introducing something different. We're actually giving them 10 tickets. We're actually giving them 10 tickets, because my poor staff, when they're out there, they go, and then someone goes, well, I'm blah, 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 I'm blah, 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 blah. Oh, and my staff don't know everybody, you know. Okay, come and see it. Oh, no. And so then we put them into the holding pen. Yeah, we don't need a holding pen, eh, whānau? So all we're going to do is we're going to give out 10 tickets. If you have the ticket, kei te pai. If you don't have a ticket, we'll put you in the holding pen, and hopefully there is a seat somewhere, and you'll make new friends. But other than that, a tapu area that I'm not going to get in the middle of. You get your 10 seats. Kia ora. Last question.
Last speaker. Tēnā koutou katoa ko Robert McFarlane, taku ingo.
Mike, let's get the mic going.
Is it?
What the hell?
Okay. Testing 1, 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Tēnā koutou katoa ko Robert McFarlane, taku ingo. I'm a trustee and shareholder Te Aopahu Whānau Trust. I'd just like to, I've stood up to communicate with the person with a hearing problem and the cost of hearing aids and so on. I've been through that too, so I just stood up so that I could meet with her afterwards. I've had a lifetime of hearing aids. Actually, it's quite convenient sometimes not to have one, but I went through the same issues that that lady is going through with the cost of hearing aids. And about a year ago, I found a company, I live in Napier, I found a company called Barclay Winter. And I got a new hearing aid for here, was for about $500. And
there you go, whānau.
Yeah, so I might be able to get them to open a branch over here. But I'm completely deaf in my right ear. I had an op in it about 2 weeks ago. It cost $480, and I'm due to go back there in a couple of weeks' time. And I hope I might be able to secure some hearing in that ear.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just stood up so that
Thank
I
you.
could talk to her. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, we have our transportation grant, our travel grant for those particular ailments and responsibilities and hoha, really. So we do mihi to you. So I've got a pretty good theme to tell staff, whānau. So, and it is heard. You know, it's not just a, yeah, or whatever, but no, it is heard, and we'll have something actioned. All right? Now, on that note, I'd just like to offer my trustees a chance to have a kōrero. Once they've had their kōrero, we'll have our karakia, our mid-karakia, because you'll obviously, hopefully some of you stay for the trust board hui next after lunch. So just like to give a chance. Joe, did you want to say anything to our whānau? Over there.
Actually, yes, I would. I'd like to thank Rākei, our leader, our stick provider, you know, our whip holder, He's an awesome leader, so thank you, Rākei, and the rest of our board members, to our trust members as well too. Ka pai.
Auntie George? You're okay? Any kōrero?
What she said.
Oh. Okay, Auntie George totals what she said. Judy, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you too, Rākei, for the leadership, and it's awesome to see you all here, and we're going to have a great lunch.
Kei te rongo koutou. Ai. Nā reira, tēnei te mihi ki a koutou kua tai mai ki te ariari ai o koutou taringa ki te whakarongo ki a mātau kua whāriki hia te kōrero e pāna ki tēnei tau tāhuri mai. Nā reira, tēnei te mihi ki a koutou. Just one final comment. I don't think that we collectivise enough. We have a number of trusts and incorporations addressing the same issues of impact on our kaumātua, on our education and so on. I think it's up to all of us to consider a lot of our trusts and incorporations to collectivise a lot more. I take note of the request in respect of two organisations, Triton Hearing and of course Specsavers. I know for me that I am eligible to apply for Waikato for funding because I'm recognised as a kaumātua Waikato. I know for me that it's the same with my Maniapoto side. But I know for a fact that my fathers and our families have huge incorporation interests, and I think that we should be working more collectively. Rākei spoke on our triangle whereby there's some spaces there. I think that we should all be responsible in going to our AGMs and asking that we collectivise a lot better. Nā reira, tēnei te mihi ki a koutou, mō tēnei wa. Nā reira, tēnā tātou.
Thank you, Napa. Sean?
Kia ora anō tātou. I'd just like to take the time to thank you all for taking time out of your busy weekend to attend this AGM. It means a lot to see all the faces. It's great to see all the tables full, more than it was last year as well. So we appreciate your time and your energy that you put into these and the good kōrero that comes of it. So tēnei te mihi atu, kia tātou.
Thank you. And what Napa is talking about is quite prevalent. We kicked off the housing. We're actually only going to build. We're actually only going to build 14 houses down Tūrangi, and that was us. But then, as we looked into it, it sort of needed to have a little bit more emphasis, and so we've gone from just buying a lollipop to now, having a big ice cream, and we need some more help to lick the ice cream. Primarily because it is a big thing, and we've taken it on ourselves to Settlement Trust. And so what we're looking to endeavour to do is also partner up. You see our partners that we have here with the Crown, that's good, that's fine, that's their job. But what I will say is if it wasn't for the partnership from some of our Taranaki whānau, Kaururoa, I'm talking about Jamie Tuta. Now people might know Jamie. If it wasn't for his idea to bypass the MHUDs and bypass the other, we wouldn't have got it done. So I need to mihi him, certainly. But we have taken on a responsibility where it would be good to have other partners. So we're talking to some of the other more landowner whānau and landowner trusts to be part of this journey. And thank you for reminding us, Napa, around that. But all in all, I see eyes of my staff saying lunch is ready and eyebrows are raised. And so all I can say is thank you so much. We're the curtain raiser for the Trust Board meeting that's coming up after lunch, and I'd like to ask Napa to come up and bless our kai as we go forward. But again, those who have travelled so far, and we always have our Omahu family always turn up, our Kainunga family, so I just want to mihi to them and thank you. Nō reira, tēnā tātou.
Nā reira nau mai e ngā nui e hora nei e nei nā kai. Ngā kai oronga tinana, ngā kai oronga hinengaro, ngā kai oronga wairua. E kimi hia i tātou te oronga tangata. Uhi, wero, nau mai te ora. Haumie, hui e. E kai, e kai, e kai.
So staff will open the door and they'll guide you to where you need to go. Those who are impaired, some staff members will come out to see and get you some kai. All right, we'll see you at 1 o'clock for the trust board. Yeah, they can bring it in. If you wish to, you can bring your kai back in here. If you wish to, you can bring your kai back in here, but we need to have the dishes back in the other side. There's some, for those of you who want to do it outside, there's some tables outside. You're not listening anyway, so.